hello again, Jarrod Richey here, another episode of Richey Recommends. I hope this is fun and engaging for you and a nice change of pace in all the craziness that's going on. Well, today's list is going to be a little bit different. I told you this could be any number of recommendations, and today we'll get away from Spotify and music recommendations and go to YouTube. Have you ever heard a recording that it was so impressive, so virtuosic, that you simultaneously wanted to take up that instrument or to attempt it, and yet at the same time thought, why even try? Well, that's the theme of today's list of top 5, where we listen to and watch a little bit of videos of people doing amazing work with an instrument that make you both want to try to play the instrument and learn, and yet at the same time wonder, what's even the use? So let's get right to the top 5. All right, number 5 on the countdown. This is a tenor recorder, a deeper, lower recorder than the classroom recorder you see. And this is a Chinese man, I believe, named Young Tai Lu from 2002. And this is the Bach Cello Suite number 1 that we featured in our first episode. But notice it's the cello suite, but it's on the tenor recorder. So take a listen. This is downright impressive. I don't know about you, but the ability to finger that, to breathe, and to tongue that so that it sounds smoothly connected and still maintain the lyrical quality that the cello would play is quite impressive. All right, number 4. We move away from the recorder, go to an instrument we've also talked about already with an artist we've already mentioned, Philip Achille. We talked about him, and more particularly talked about the chromatic harmonica. If you've ever seen the chromatic harmonica, you know, the blues harmonica, you play like this. The chromatic harmonica, you know, Stevie Wonder and other folks, other blues folks, Blues Traveler, they've got a wonderful harmonica sound, Larry Adler. But Philip Achille is playing Bach's A minor violin concerto, the first movement. My good friend Lamar Robertson says, you know, if you can do certain things, you know, he'll say, you ain't no slouch. Well, you ain't a slouch if you can play the violin of the violin concerto. And here he is playing on the chromatic harmonica. Take a listen. Check out his other videos. This guy is very, very smooth in his lyrics. It's so enjoyable to listen to. He's got some jazz. He's got some Rat Pack covers and some different things. And Dave Brubeck, you'd really enjoy it. All right, number 3. We move to the bass guitar. If you've ever heard of the banjo player Bela Fleck and his band, the Flecktones, I love to hear him play. His bass player in that band is a man named Victor Wooten. Some would say he is one of, if not the best bass player. He's definitely considered that by many people across the world. But he has this great cover of Amazing Grace where he at the same time is able to play a lyric line and provide his own thumping accompaniment. It's just exquisite. Take a listen. It's wonderful. Check out the rest of his music. He's got some solo work as well, and you could check out the rest of this video. All right, staying with the guitar, but this time not the bass guitar. Number 2. All right, here we go. We move on to a famous virtuosic guitar player today that is known. His name's Tommy Emmanuel. He's covering another guitar player his song called Classical Gas, if you've ever heard of that. Mason Williams was the guy who wrote and performed that, but Tommy Emmanuel takes it up another notch to steal one from Emeril Lagasse. Bam! It is unbelievable how fast his fingers move and how percussive and rhythmic and virtuosic this is. Take a listen. He ain't no slouch either. All right, well, that brings us to number 1 on our list. We go to the way we started. We started with the recorder, we end with the recorder, only because this is just has to be number 1. We move to Antonio Vivaldi, Baroque composer, same time period as Bach and Handel and Buxtehude and other folks, wrote recorder. Today we think of the recorder as just a classroom instrument, and you could play hot cross buns on it, but this is not the history of the recorder. The recorder has long been a professional and a serious instrument where musicians can play serious art music on it, and this is no exception. This is Vivaldi's Recorder Concerto RV 443. This is a recorder player named Maurice Steger, if I'm saying that correctly. It is exquisite, but don't take my word for it. Check this out. That's the jaw expression that my students make when I play this for them or when they see this video. It's quite an amazing feat of breath and fingering and tonguing to make this sound so effortless, like birds dancing and fluttering about in a neat way. Plus, you just pulled into the performance. All right, that's the top 5 for today. I told you, this is going to be random in some respects and going to keep you guessing and challenging you on what you might think you might hear me talk about. So that's all for this episode. I'll see you next time.